This is Task 5 at the British Italian Nationals 2025, a similar task to yesterday but extended to just over 50 kilometres, over the back from takeoff to Gubbio, then Mocciana, then back through Gubbio and onto Gualdo Tadino and north to the goal landing field. I was determined to do better than yesterday, where I only managed 6.4 kilometres. I needed to set off through the start gate much higher to give myself time to find a decent thermal before crossing the valley behind takeoff. Convergence was nearby and the wind was threatening to switch, so an early takeoff was advised, meaning we had over 40 minutes to wait before taking the start. Thunderstorms were expected later in the afternoon too. The air in front of takeoff was very turbulent in places. Before the start gate opened, I managed to get to 5,500 to 6,000 feet 3 times before losing it all and ending up below takeoff again. As the start gate opened, I was around 5,600 feet, quite a bit higher than yesterday. Heading over the back, I was still around 5,000 feet after clearing the mountains and caught a thermal almost straight away, which took me up to over 7,200 feet. A great start to the task. I set off across the valley with plenty of clouds indicating loads of lift ahead of me. I flew over yesterday's landing field with over 5,500 feet of clearance. It was looking a much better day for me. Once I had arrived at the other side of the valley and crossed onto high ground again, it was easy to find a thermal. This one was the best of the day and took me to about 8,100 feet. The path to turnpoint 1 and 2 was into wind. I decided to take a path in the valley rather than hugging the ridge to my right as some others were doing. It seemed to me that there were plenty of clouds indicating thermals along the valley. I arrived at turnpoint 1 Gubbio at around 4,800 feet, but picked up another climb to 7,000 feet while admiring the Roman amphitheatre and the basilica. just about a kilometre short of turnpoint 2, I found another thermal and took it to 6,600 feet. The clouds to the south were starting to look threatening, and I would be heading back that way soon. After tagging turnpoint 2, I turned around and started heading back to Gubbio. I'd decided again to follow the valley rather than the ridge, returning to my last thermal location, but I couldn't find any lift this time. I flew on to Gubbio at around 3,300 feet, where I found weak lift to just 4,400, but it seemed like the best of the day was over, and I soon landed in a ploughed field at Spada. The wind here was pretty fickle. I circled several times to verify the wind direction, but near to the ground it switched and I landed downwind. As I de-rigged, I could hear thunder in the distance, and a few minutes later the meet director signalled that the task was stopped. A great flight for me. I guess if I had been a bit quicker, then I would have been further along the task when the lift shut down. 2 pilots were disqualified for infringing airspace, so I ended up in 3rd place on the day. This was the final task, and it took me to 6th place overall, and I just snuck into 3rd place in the British Nationals competition.